Well, hello. This is our first episode.
It's our first episode.
I'm so proud of us.
I was going to say the same thing. I was literally going to say I'm so proud of us.
I'm just like, we're sitting here in Mandy's playroom, and we have dogs everywhere. It sounds like Michael Vick's house, but I promise all the dogs are okay. But we've got playing puppies. We've got all sorts of chaos, but we made it.
Yeah, we have. So whatever with Michael Vick, it's like Michael Vick, but make it cute. We've got Hugh Hefner here, but make it cute.
Make it cute.
So,
and you know, we help animals. We don't fight them. They fight each other. And we're sipping on our signature little lavender lattes. But yeah, here we go. I mean, I'm one of your co-hosts. I'm Ashley Park, joined with
Mandy Smith.
And we have this podcast that we just decided to do because, you know, we had a previous show, Estrogen's Follies Live.
About that real quick.
Yeah, we had EF Live, which... so we're two comedians from Austin, Texas, and we had some success on this show. We had Chelsea Handler
Our first guest was Chelsea Handler.
which mind-boggling.
Which we got by sending this ridiculous email of us naked in a tub with her body.
With her body, our
Photoshopped
faces.
with our faces. And we invited her and she said yes, which opened up the doors to us to have Latrice Royale, which was crazy.
Insane. Miss Peppermint for all you RuPaul Drag Race fans.
Elizabeth Gilbert for everyone who's had a breakdown.
Yeah, her. We've had Eliza Schlesinger. We've had Cameron Esposito. We've had just a ton of people on this show. And so that show kind of came to a close and we wanted to keep it going, but like with our little twist to it. And this is Third Life Crisis.
But now I'm wondering if I lean over too far, are my boobs hanging out too much?
I mean, you know, it's fine for YouTube. Who cares?
It'll help. It'll help.
boost.
All 7 people that are going to watch our first episode are going to see my boobs, but they're really good boobs. So
Thumbs up.
thumbs up. Tits up, thumbs
I
up.
get really sad when people do a thumbs down on any of the YouTube videos.
Oh,
it's
man.
like, you're a dick. Why are you doing that?
We go hard. You know, we do sketch comedy. Did you say that already? You might have.
No, we can say it again.
We pretty much do comedy daily between the two of us.
Every day.
So we're on Instagram, Mashley Comedy, TikTok. We're the geriatric millennials of TikTok.
Yeah.
But we freaking bring it. Like, we get a little sexy if it calls for it. Not always. Sometimes we're disgusting dinosaurs, like literally blow up dinosaurs.
Yeah, and we're going for it,
We're
you
going
know?
for it. So when they give us thumbs down...
Yeah, it's very sad. It's very sad to me when it's like, oh man, you're exerting that energy. But, you know, we decided to do this podcast, Third Life Crisis. You can take this however you want. It could be a numerical life crisis, where this could be literally your third one.
A new miracle.
Your numerical crisis. It's like a new, like, Jesus, like, church. Your new miracle.
We'll be, like, together.
Yeah, like,
Just like that.
It could be numerical or it could be fractional. So, like, we've come to the conclusion that we have reached a point in our lives where we are too old to die young, and that's okay. That is totally okay. So
we look young though. I got carded 3 times this week.
That feels so good. I love it. And they're always like, "Oh, sorry," and I'm like, "Don't be." Like, wow.
You made my whole life.
And then, like, they brighten up, too, and they're like, oh, I made this geriatric millennials live. You're like, yeah, you did. You really, really did. And, like, yes, it's annoying to fish out my ID from my wallet, but, like, I will gladly do it every time.
Every single time.
Yeah, you know, it's like, I feel like you get in a mindset, though, and we're both creatives, you get in a mindset where you tell yourself, like, okay, once I hit 25, it's all got to click. It's all got to be this. It's all got to do this. And we're here to say, you know, we're no experts. We are no, you know.
But we have our shit together.
We have our shit together. And I'm here to say life does not end at 25. So all of you listeners, all 2 of you, and like mostly probably our closest friends, life goes on. And it's okay to like change course and figure out what you want in life.
Yeah.
Whatever that means for you. And so that's kind of what this podcast will be about. We're going to explore some career stuff. We'll explore sex, dating. We're both married, but like a lot of my friends are still single. Do you have single friends?
Yeah, I do.
I have a lot of single friends. So we have a lot of good like dating stories that we'll tell.
We have fun theater people stories that we'll maybe
Tons
tell.
of that.
Oh my God, because we met in improv.
Yes. Yes, improv class here
Improv
in
class.
Austin.
But I feel like we have similar goals that we actually like. We're like doubling down. Like we want to fucking do something with
I
this.
want to do comedy like full
just
time.
Put us on SNL. We would be excellent on SNL. We sing,
great.
we dance.
We do really good accents.
We are very good with accents.
We put ourselves out there. You know, it's like it's just a total mix of everything.
We're exceptionally good looking.
We're exceptionally if you're listening to the podcast
We're
alone,
funny.
just Google us. Like, just Google it, and you could let us know what you think.
You
and
can
if
let
you're
us
like,
know.
they oversold it, that's okay. That's okay.
if you want to give us a thumbs down, just don't. I mean,
We'll give you the middle finger if you give us a thumbs down.
some of us are more sensitive than others.
It's just terrible. But we're gonna have themed episodes too, so that's like I'm really excited because we're in the month of October and I'm really excited to get spooky. We've got like some spooky themes coming up.
Somebody's opening a cupboard. I just don't want them to hear us because
very
I want to talk about the spooky thing because I'm like, the thing I want to talk about most, this is ridiculous. I was like, would you have sex with a ghost?
Oh,
Just like what I really want to talk about.
I mean, I would. It just would depend on the ghost. You and I have talked about that. I would have sex with Theodore Roosevelt. If the ghost of Theodore Roosevelt came and was like, hey, how's it going? You want to go be a Rough Rider with me? I'd be like, yeah, let's do it.
He would be your ghost hall pass.
Yeah, I think he would be. There's something about him. He's tenacious,
He's in a wheelchair.
No, that's FDR. That is FDR. It's one of those damn Roosevelts.
He's one of those dead presidents.
Those dead Roosevelts.
Here, I have to ask you something. I really don't like it when you can hear people swallow on podcasts. If I drink this, can you hear me swallow?
Okay, let's give it a shot.
Was that a polite swallow?
I feel like it was.
Because when I hear them swallow on Call Her Daddy,
I feel
I'm
like
like
it
it's
was.
a big gulp.
Yeah, it's like
you're out of
it's like a lot. It's a lot. I know this is our intro episode. We're just gonna kind of like be like, this is what we're gonna do. But I do have a bit of hot goss that I want to talk
Tell me.
about. It's dating goss.
Oh my
So
God, tell me.
I'm gonna call this friend Sassy. So we're just gonna call her Sassy.
Okay.
Sassy is on Hinge, as like all of my friends are on Hinge.
Everyone's talking about it. Ryan Seacrest talks about it on like the radio every morning when I'm in my car.
Everyone's on Hinge.
Everyone's
It's
on
like the
Hinge.
place to be. And like I like to go on like friends' Hinges and like go through it and be like, okay, what do we got here? And so like she was telling me that I matched her with this guy. I feel responsible for this.
Congratulations.
Well, I was like, oh yeah, I like him. So I put like, yeah, let's do this. And they started talking. Well, they like really started talking and things got like kind of heated. And then he was like, oh,
Like
I want
sexy heated or like
Well, here's the thing. This is crazy. Oh, this is so crazy. She was like at home and he messages her, hey, I'm at your place.
No.
Yeah. And he had Googled where she lived and found.
How?
And I guess like it was like, you can find this info. And he just showed up. And so she was like, what the fuck? And she was like a little like, okay, that's really weird. But then they kind of weirdly talked about it like, oh yeah, this stuff you can find on Google. I was like, what? And so like that meeting went okay. And this is COVID. So like they were like distance and playing it safe, all that stuff.
they were not distanced, first of all.
Well, they were just for like their first meeting.
No, they were not. There's no way.
Okay, maybe they sucked face. Okay, so, but, she's quarantined now. I was trying to cover it. Well, I'm using a pseudonym.
Yeah,
Sassy.
yeah.
So
Sassy.
So then Sassy keeps talking. Like, everything's going great with this guy.
So
And
he like went home? Like
he went
made out?
home. They
He went
made
home.
out, went home.
Okay. How do you,
And-
like, as a grown-up, like, how do you, like, make out and then you just stop and then go home?
Yeah.
Or did they have sex?
No sex. No sex. She would have told me there was no sex.
Okay.
There was no sex. So they made out, and then he was hitting her up, and he was asking about her past dating life, and he was like, "Tell me about your exes." And so then she's like, "Oh, well, I had this one ex," and then he says, "Y'all hold on to your fucking hats. Have you ever dated a black man?" And she was like, yes.
She
like,
only dates black men,
She typically goes for black men, but her ex that she had for like a long time was a black man. And so she was like, yes, I have. I'm typically more attracted to black men. And like, they're like, most of my exes are black. And he goes, I can't date you anymore.
Stop it.
Oh, yeah. I wish
Wait,
I
I
could
was
find my
assuming
phone.
because I know that Sassy dates. She just like is really attracted to black men. I know that. I would just assume that this guy was black. He's not.
No, he wasn't.
That's fucked up.
No. And so he goes, I'm sorry, deal breaker. And she was like, what? And he goes, yeah, I just think we need to be friends. And he's like, I don't understand why this is problematic for you. And she goes, you're fucking racist. That's why it's problematic. And I was like, that is my fucking girl. Like, she stood up to him and was like, you are fucking racist. That is insane that you're like not going to date someone because they previously dated a black man.
What the fuck?
Insane. So like for people who are like racism isn't real, it is. Open your eyes if you still don't believe it. But here we are. Even in the dating world, I think it's a dick thing. I bet he has like a micro penis, and then he's thinking about the stereotype about black men, and he's like, maybe he can't compare. That's my theory on it.
I mean, I feel like it's very human to like not talking about him anymore, but like to like for people to want to like know about like the exes.
Absolutely.
Right, but you can't. I mean, let's take him out of the equation, but like you cannot control what somebody did in their past before they met you.
And then
like
it's so fucked up to like blanket like statement of a racial thing of like, well, you dated this guy. And
how old is this guy?
I don't know. I think he was like in his 30s. I think he was like in his mid 30s. And like, and it sucks because he had his life together. He like seemed to have a good job, but then he did the creepy stalky thing, which I did not
too much.
Like that.
That's like beyond a red flag.
Yeah.
Like that is
such
a bucket of red flags.
Just right there. And I was like, ooh, I do not like it. And then he pulled the race card and I was like, that's fucking insane.
Well,
like,
Sassy handled it.
Sassy handled it well. Sassy said bye-bye. And like, just crazy, and like blocked him. And just was done. And I was like, God, it's
oh my
so
God, let's get her
up.
one of those call her daddy t-shirts that say block him.
Yeah, for
that.
real. Like,
Yeah,
I was
job.
just so crazy. So that's my weird dating story from my circle of friends. And for all of you millennials out there dating, or even if you're not a millennial, if you're younger or older, vaya con Dios, and take care of yourselves and stand up for yourselves, because, you know, there's a lot of bullshit out there.
There's a lot of bullshit.
But yeah, that's my hot goss.
Oh
so
my God.
do you think it's weird, like, how do you feel whenever like people say like, oh, I'm going on a date in COVID? Does it make you nervous whenever like friends tell you that? It makes me a little nervous from like, oh my God, please be careful.
Well, I feel like all of my friends are really responsible. I feel like I've gotten to a point in my life where I'm like, I don't have many friends that I'm like, not that you ever know what somebody's going to do in a situation, but I'm like, I know how they're going to handle that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like if it's an outdoor date, like most everyone that I know is like pretty responsible.
Mostly for me too, but then I get surprised every now and then. Like we had some friends over for outdoor like social distance hang, and so like everyone was like distanced, but then like they wanted to like come inside my house to use the restroom. And like, so to paint the picture, y'all, I've got a Airstream out back that we open whenever people come over. We open it and then people use that out there. Now you and I are the exception because you're in my quarantine pod,
yeah.
But I always have people use the restroom out in the trailer, and like they kept wanting to go inside, and I was like, hey,
with a mask on?
No. And I was like, hey, like maybe use that. Well, and then I found out that they went to a goddamn wedding, and I was like, I'm not gonna have you like breathing up all these like toxins, breathing up all these viral loads and then coming up in my house. And I'm like, no. And I was very surprised by that, because normally like they're very careful, so it was like weird that I was like,
I do feel like people are getting to a point where they're sort of over it, but you have to be over it responsibly.
yes.
Like when I say I want responsible friends, I'm like, no, you have to be fucking fun. Like I feel like there's a huge list of criteria to be like our friend at this point. I'm
it's
like,
so true.
Yeah, like I want to know that you can cut loose, but not in a breathing viral loads all over my house.
It's so true. I feel like COVID has been such an eye-opening experience of like, who's a person that is worth seeing, just
that's true.
worth seeing, and who's responsible, and like who is upfront and real.
Yeah.
Because I don't like this shit of I've been safe, and then afterwards like, just kidding, I haven't.
Just
I'm
kidding.
like, that's not
no. I mean,
okay.
I think between you and I, we've had like 9 COVID tests.
Yeah,
Just
we're
because I'm like,
keeping these COVID tests in business.
We are. It's like $140 a pop, but I'm like, if I gotta know, I want to know right now, because like we have to film tomorrow or whatever.
It's so true. And it's like, I feel like I get COVID over the weirdest things. Like I got in a fight with that woman at HEB who was not wearing a mask, and I was like, hey, wear your mask, and then she was like, fuck fuck you. And I was like, she gave me COVID.
You were like against the
Yeah, I was. I was like, don't breathe on me. Don't breathe on me. I like was flipping the fuck out. I was like, do not breathe on me. But I like convinced myself I had COVID basically. So
I know, once it's in your head, because you have that Final Destination mentality. I have that too, but I feel like I wonder if we could do a test to figure out whose is what. We need to do like, okay, here's like this picture. What's the first thing you think of? We need to like write it down to test whose Final Destination mentality is more extreme.
Well, I can tell you, even in this room,
looking
around this room, I've like thought of all the ways I could die in this room. So Mandy has a spinning fan that's up on the ceiling.
It's very safe. It's restaurant like quality.
I'm sure it's very safe, but my brain imagines a weird earthquake happening and
an earthquake in Texas. Okay.
There's fracking. Fracking causes this. It would fly off and just slice my head open.
Oh my God.
And this is how extreme my Final Destination brain is.
I almost had that happen to me actually.
What?
Yes. Okay. So the first day that we moved into our house, we had never had ceiling fans before because like we moved from California.
No ceiling fans in California at all?
Well, I mean, I'm sure some people do, but we had this like our house was like a Cape Cod. It was like we just didn't have ceiling fans. We had like chandeliers in all the rooms, not ceiling fans. Okay, whoops! I just touched the microphone.
We touched the microphone.
That was probably so nasty to hear.
I bet it's fine. I think it's fine.
I'm really sorry.
Don't forgive her.
Fuck. So I was like so excited, and I like ran upstairs to wake up Sterling, and I jumped on his fucking bed and didn't think about it. I'm standing on his bed, like jumping. The ceiling fan is going. I could have lost my head. I could have died in front of my child. Like could have like been decapitated.
That is one of my greatest fears, is getting my head sliced off.
Oh my God. Can we
just
not talk about this? Yes.
But I mean, I'm just glad that someone else. I feel like Final Destination was a terrible thing for my psyche because ever since then, I've watched like multiple Final Destinations.
Why do you do this to yourself?
I don't know. I just like when they came out, I watched it, and ever since those movies, like I come up with fantastical ways that I could die. Like everywhere I go.
So you didn't do it before the movie?
No, it was right after the movie.
So you didn't have this before you watched the movie?
No, because like they go through these extreme measures of like, well, a chain reaction, a butterfly like effect of like terrible things that could go wrong, and I have that in my mind where I'm just like, I mean, it's quite all right. Like, you know, it's like going to like a Bed Bath and Beyond is a nightmare because the shelves are so high, and I'm like, well, this could just impale me left and right, or like
if it was falling on you, you have to scrunch up into like a ball into the place of where the shelves are. Like, okay, so I think about this, but I think about how am I going to get out of it? Yeah, exactly.
That's responsible. I think of the most fantastical ways that it could. like what are those? Oh my God, it's a Swedish thing.
IKEA.
It's like it is. It's IKEA. It's like a chain reaction of events that like, so you hit a marble and then it causes this reaction, then it goes to this, and then it's almost like an obstacle course of things that like keep the like course moving. I'm gonna look this up. It's gonna drive me nuts. Chase knows what I'm talking. I'll hit up Chase. I'll be like, what is this?
Like the things that people build?
Yeah. It's like a chain reaction thing. Yeah. Like I come up with ways like that if I'm in Bed Bath and Beyond, and I'm like, okay, well, this ball will hit this, and then that will get the knife going down this way, and then the toaster will fly up, and like I like weirdly have like these courses of like I'm gonna be put through a maze of death.
I think if you just escape one thing, you'd be fine.
Yeah.
Just one.
Yeah. I mean, you know, I'm athletic enough. We could figure it out.
Oh my God, yeah.
For
sure. And you're very agile. You're not clumsy. You're gonna be fine.
I think we'll be okay. I've been to the ER a lot, so we'll be a ton. When I was a kid, that's why I think I'm so scared now as an adult, is like I've already used up all my courage like as a child, and now I'm just like, yeah, anything could kill me.
You've used up all your courage?
All of my courage.
I used to think like, okay, well, like little things have to happen, so big things don't happen. Like in my mind, I used to be like, okay, well, little things, whatever. Like I got my cheek split open, like in high school, 15 years old, with like stitches on my face. Like it's, you know, you can still say whatever. But I'm like, okay, like nobody even ever said this to me. I was just like, little things happen, so big things don't happen. Like you can't get through your life without little things happening. So like it's all these little things are like, you know, that you got to get something.
This is it.
You can't live your life without something happening to you, especially once you hit your third life crisis.
Well, that's all the time that we have left for this week. But this was like a fun little intro episode, and obviously boosh.
Oh my God.
Yeah, just something fun. And you know, we're going to have some really exciting episodes. We're going to talk about some really fun stuff. have some spooky themed
Slutty
items.
comedy. Slutty comedy? No,
Slutty-
slutty Halloween. We do slutty comedy.
Slutty comedy.
And I mean slut in like the nice way. Like I embrace all of that because like, you know.
Sluts are great. I mean, you know, my best times in life have been slutty times, you know?
Oh my God, we have to talk about how we, one of the names that we considered was two married hoes.
Two married whores.
Two married whores.
Or
Yeah.
Hoes
Two married
or
hoes.
whores.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, if Mashley Comedy doesn't take off, we could always pivot.
Two married hoes.
You
Because you know what? You're still always all of you, and there's no shame in being a sexual human being.
So true.
I'm not going to be shamed for any of that.
Absolutely not.
No.
Well, we'll see y'all next week for our official episode. It'll be spooky themed.
Spooky.
So hold on to your hats and your broomsticks.
There's a child screaming.
There-
This happens a lot. It's usually because the charger has come out of the wall,
Uh-oh.
or they are fighting over the same charger. But anyway, follow us on all the things.
Speaking of spooky.
Speaking of spooky, we're Mashley Comedy, and we're going to be here every week. We have daily comedy on our Instagram, sometimes on our Facebook, but I'm so sick of Facebook. I know that was probably not what I was supposed to say there.
Facebook is just like a bunch of just like very frail elderly people and Republicans yelling at you, and I'm just not into it.
I'm tired of it. And theater people who are very dramatic in the other direction. It's
I
just
took
exhausting.
a shit. I took one. I'm tired.
We're tired. So follow us. You can listen to us and all the places that you listen to your favorite podcasts, and please let us be one of them. We're so excited to meet you all, and you're going to be our little mashed potatoes because we are Mashley Comedy. So thank you for being a mashed
Join
potato.
us, Mashers.
Mashers.
This is a great, like, everyone's got their gang name, and we have mashed potatoes.
Yeah, you know, you've got like Barty Gang, Daddy Gang. We've got fucking mashed potatoes.
Little mashers.
You can be lumpy. You can be
filled with butter. I don't care.
We don't care.
We don't care. We don't judge.
I mean,
either.
we do judge a little, but like only for things that are shitty. And lumps aren't shitty.
Lumps are never shitty. Love those lumps.
See you next week.
Bye.